about Errol and Tszyu for a little bit. So Tszyu doing the smart thing, taking the tune-up fight. Errol seems to be being stubborn and not taking the tune-up fight. Obviously, that plays into Tszyu's favor. But recently, I seen Terrence Crawford come out and said he knows the skills Errol has, and he believes Errol's gonna defeat Tszyu. And not that Crawford's word is the end-all, be-all, but early preliminary. Let's say both guys are as good as they're going to be health-wise. Do you see anything that either does that'll probably give them the advantage over the other?
Nothing per se. I would definitely say Tszyu obviously has the advantage when it comes to activity, recent activity. They both taken damage, right?
Okay, you mean activity as in who's been in the ring sooner. You don't necessarily mean like output while in the ring.
Yeah, activity in terms of who's been in the ring. Like in terms of fighting. If I had to put money on who I believe will probably be sharper and have better timing come fight night, I'm probably leaning towards Tszyu, right? Because when you haven't been in the ring for 3 years, that's going to have an effect on your timing and how sharp you are. And from the footage that I've seen from Errol Spence, he's not really giving me the confidence that I need to be like, I don't know if you can come in here and just dominate a Tszyu, right? Yeah, y'all both are damaged, but I don't know how much of an effect that, the car accident, how badly you got stopped by Crawford, right? 3 years, yeah, you probably been well rested, but then now it comes down to kind of how sharp you are, right? How rusty you are. Whereas with Tszyu, yeah, he's taken on damage more recently and got stopped by Fedora, but he's still in the lab. He's still working on his craft. So for me, I definitely think it's just the consistency part, which is going to affect your timing, how sharp you are in the ring. In terms of speed, I don't know. I don't know who's the faster fighter. I think they're relatively close in terms of actual sheer speed. In terms of punching power, they're probably relatively close. I'm gonna be honest, because Tszyu could still crack. I'll probably say maybe Tszyu probably is the harder puncher. Hard to say, even though Errol Spence is the better body puncher. Activity in terms of like volume, Errol Spence beats him in that category in terms of volume punching, right? Throwing a lot of punches. Who's more durable? I don't know. From what I've seen from the both of them, I'll probably lean towards Tszyu. Who's the smarter fighter? Errol Spence. Who has more experience? Errol Spence. But I say all in all, with that being said, one other factor that is probably going to play a huge role is the coaching. And Tszyu has a coach in his corner who's the former coach for Miguel Cotto, Gamboa, right? And he's changing up his style a bit, and him going into this tune-up fight. Let's see where that goes. So I think that he has probably someone that he's going to get acclimated to quicker than Errol Spence will in Ronnie Shields. So,
yeah, and that's even if Errol is going to go with Ronnie Shields, right?
Yeah.
But let's assume. But Ronnie Shields also, Hall of Fame renowned trainer as well, right? So like big time trainer. But I agree with everything you said. The punching power is a tricky one, right? Because I think Errol has over time been branded as not a one punch knockout kind of guy, but I do think he has that ability similar to Tszyu. Like they can both like wear on you. But both of them like hit pretty hard at what we've seen kind of at their peak, right? I think Errol notably said he shoots a lot of his shots, or no, somebody may have said it about Errol, like he shoots a lot of his shots at 80%, and that helps him keep up the activity because he's not punching with 100%, right? You know what I'm saying? But times where it looks like he really sat down and tried to crack people, he is hurting people, right? So that's an interesting one. Who hits harder? I don't know, but everything you said is pretty much true. I'll ask you this. Who do you think has the better feet?
Ooh, I want to say they're close, but I'll probably say Errol Spence. Okay. I'd probably say Errol Spence because I've seen more from Errol Spence. And I'm just thinking of like Errol Spence of the old, but I'm trying not to do that. I want to see like Errol Spence now. Because when he fought Terrence Crawford, he was pretty flat-footed in that fight. He was pretty flat-footed, and I don't know if it was just that fight in particular or just, but
over the years, he stopped using his feet as much. You know, I think one of the best showing of him using his feet would probably be the Lamont Peterson fight.
Even the Mikey Garcia fight too. And
so he stopped using his feet as much. But I think this is a great fight for both guys. Reason being, they're both going to be there to be hit likely, right? And Errol Spence coming off of 3 years of rust, I think the best thing for you is someone who's going to be in front of you and allow you to hit them, right? And kind of same thing for Tszyu after he was stopped in 2 of his last 4 fights, like you know what I mean? Like he got stopped from Dora. I think he had a fight before that he won, right?
Yep.
But before that, he was stopped by Bakram, took a bad beating by Fundora. So I'm not sure you want to chase somebody. You kind of want to just let loose some of that anger and frustration. So they're both going to be there to be hit. Obviously, what I've been saying about Errol for the longest is I want to see his punch resistance. I want to see that the Crawford fight was either an anomaly or Crawford just being that good. You know what I mean? I don't want that to be the Errol that we see where it's like punches that don't necessarily look that hard, having them fly everywhere. You know what I mean? So I'm interested to see his punch resistance against someone like Tszyu who can punch,
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. But I think it's a firefight though. Like I said, I think they're both there to be hit. I think we will be surprised in the fight, probably by both versions of, those fighters. So